Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. So, today we completed another project and it was quick. It was maybe, I'm going to say, an hour and a half, 2 hours max. That does not include driving time, obviously. But the cool thing is because it was so quick and tidy, it worked out really, really well. I love those projects. So here are some of the semi-precious to the precious project spoils, I guess I'll call them, that I picked up today. And as you can see, as usual, our normal contender in mass sterling silver. So there's a lot of sterling silver out there. Yes, the candlesticks are weighted as candlesticks should be. This sugar shaker, which no one uses anymore, and nor have they used since probably, I'm going to say, the 1800s. It has a teeny bit of weight as well, and I talked about in a previous video about what to do with weighted silver, when to unweight it, when to keep it weighted, when to clean silver, when not to clean silver, etc., etc. So please see that video. I will try to remember to post a link to it up above. So there's some shot glasses. One is pretty large for a shot. That's like, what, a double shot at least? And then what is considered to be a normal shot. This one I might sell as a special entity. I'll clean it up and list that one. This one has way too many dents in it, so it's going to be sold as scrap, along with this, of course, and this. Also, one of the areas that I love glass. So I don't have a lot of glass because I'm more of a believe it or not, like as a reseller, I am a minimalist. Someone said I am the perfect reseller because I don't like keeping stuff and I hate the clutter. So if I had a dream, I would live somewhere that had a ton of glass, like a glass factory, and have like the most amazing glass pieces. A glass sofa. Just imagine that. That would be so cool. However, not going to happen. But I did find this set of Art Deco salt and pepper shakers. Unfortunately, both of them had chips at the bottom. And I picked them up because I saw that they were Art Deco, super cool. But then what I ended up doing is tossing the glass part of it and keeping the tops because these are sterling silver. And as usual, I have focusing issues. So, that's something just to be aware of if you're out in the world and you're like, those salt and pepper shakers are awesome, but they suck because they have, scratches, or the glass is discolored, or there's chips, whatever the damage is. Maybe they left the salt and pepper in there for 35 years. Look at the collars, and maybe for 25 cents you could pick up both of them and at least you have some scrap silver. I also found these teeny tiny spoons. They're both sterling silver. They're actually identical. So yeah, those will be for sale. Unfortunately, this is really, really bad. But unfortunately, sometimes people buy these for nefarious reasons. Obviously, most people buy them, and I'm talking about the tiny spoons like this. I mean, these are small. I will see if I can find something to compare the size to for you. I don't think I have, a business card. There you go. So if you compare, look, they're not even as long as a business card. And these are just standard regular size cards. But sometimes what people will do is buy the small spoons to turn them into jewelry pieces, which is a positive reason for them. So, you can sell these, they do have, unfortunately, the cartouche was engraved, and that does reduce the value, because someone would have to have that rubbed out, which, obviously takes away from the silver. But, choices, whatever. I'm going to put them out there, see what happens. It is what it is, not a big deal. I also have quite a bit of 14 karat gold. All of this is 14 karat. And all of this is going to be scrapped. Why? Because the earrings you see here all have damage or are missing an earring. So there's 1, 2, 3 of them that do not have a match. And here you can see the dent. And here this one has a huge dent, like really bad. So obviously I'm not going to go through the trouble of trying to fix anything like that. It's not worth it. Unfortunately, the balls, one of them has a dent. The other one's totally fine. And it is what it is. I'm cool with that. And the reason that the beaded jewelry is going to be sold as scrap, and they do have sea pearls, is because, like I said, and actually this bead is dented, is because most people are buying this stuff to scrap it. And with all of those beads on there, obviously that's a good majority of the weight. And, it's 14 karat gold, the gold parts, but there's not a lot of the gold there. And these, I just don't like them. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't. So they're going, all of this will be sold as scrap at some point. And then I do have these. I do think that these are interesting, and they have a maker's mark on them. And I'm going to do more research on these to see if they're worth, selling as, scrap, or, do I sell them as ebony 14 karat gold earrings? And I do have to I can't show you the maker's mark because it's really small and it's hard to get to on camera. But if I find that the maker's mark is like David or Yerman, I think it is, or something like that, then obviously I will sell these as a standalone item. And then there's a bag that has a bunch of single earrings and bits and pieces that are all marked 14 karat. That would go over here with the scrappable stuff. And in my previous video, which I told you I am linking, I do have information about how to deal with items that are just like 1/20th gold, or if they're gold plated. There's, those items do sell. They mostly sell in lots versus as individual items. That's just the way it is. But there's nothing wrong with you, trying to sell some of your gold fill or 1/20th items, obviously, as standalone items, but they need to be incredibly cool and special for you to really make a sale on that. So something I'm going to bring back in from my previous video, because someone was kind enough to tell me that they sent me an email saying, what was that super cool, fancy, scrolly thing that you had in the video? You didn't talk about it, and I'm so sorry about that. But this is a 14 karat gold watch case. So this actually housed a manual, old-fashioned winding watch. Yes, young folks, there was a time when batteries had nothing to do with a watch, and it could just run on its own as long as you wound it and didn't wind it too tight. So this is 14 karat gold. It's fully marked. It has a maker's name. It's marked inside. It's marked outside, if I can find the mark outside. And also it is surrounded by 4 small diamonds. I don't think it's going to come in clear, so forgive me for that. There it goes. It is so hard when you're like your own production person as well as like trying to present. It is hilarious. But believe me, it says 14 karat gold on the outside also. So this has a lot of things going for it. And unlike all of this stuff that I'm going to scrap, these I'm considering what I'm going to do with them. So don't know if I'm scrapping those or not. With this watch case, and it's obviously it's for a female. It's like an Art Nouveau design. It has surrounded by 4 diamonds. It's fully hallmarked by the maker, so they were very proud of this piece, as well as it has the correct 14 karat gold metal markings on it. Plus, we tested it. It has its original crystal. I'm just saying the list goes on with the positives for this. It's not damaged and it's not overly scratched up in any way. So this is an item that I am going to consider selling on its own as a standalone item versus putting it into a lot. I think it's pretty special. I don't know how easy or how hard it would be for someone to get a watch to go inside of it. We actually do have the watch that goes inside of it. And we are considering whether to sell that as a separate piece or to add it back to the watch case. The watch itself it's okay. I'm going to say if I was to rate it from a 1 to 5, I would give it a 3.75 as far as the maker's name goes. But the watch case is where all of the cash is. So, nowadays, does anyone care? I don't know. This probably will sell to someone overseas, maybe, versus to someone in America, for example. So I just want to give you a little bit of a view of what I found today. Let me show you one more thing. So, where did the items come from? They came from everywhere, but this is a bunch of costume jewelry that we ended up getting today, came into our hands today. Some of what you saw on the table was recovered from all of this. What I will do with this is sell it. I'm probably going to combine it into 3 lots. I don't think I'll sell it in 4 lots the way you see it here. I'm going to probably put it into 3 lots and just let it fly. That's what I do. I'm not overly concerned, about, I know some people are like, oh my God, but you have so much stuff. And what if there's this in there or that in there? The people who buy this stuff, as far as I'm concerned, deserve to find a treasure as well. So I always make sure that, I don't just like strip out all of the best stuff. Because if it was me, I would be sort of disappointed, but it is what it is. I mean, everything is being sold as is, where is, however it is. And I usually just sell it as, broken junk lots. Of course, a lot of it actually is wearable. Some of it is not wearable unless you are willing to repair it, or you can create other things from it. So, that's what I do just to move this stuff quickly, because if I didn't, I am telling you, I would have trunks and cases full of this type of stuff. It's amazing how common it is to find, hordes of costume jewelry. So if you're buying costume jewelry, just know that, I just gave you a lot of knowledge there. There are some great deals to be had. Be careful if you're buying in bulk. Don't be disappointed if you get a bunch of bull crap in your lot. Because some people will just put like the good stuff on top and the crappy stuff is really filling up the bottom. So just, know your buyer. Know your seller. Know who you're buying from. If you've had a great experience with them before, buy from them again. Like, don't take a chance with folks that are, might be risky. But if you see that there's a lot of positive feedback and it's someone you haven't purchased from before, go wild if that's what you do. And this stuff has a lot of amazing uses that can increase the value of it considerably if you're crafty and creative and know how to make other things out of it. I've seen people like take a lot like this and create some amazing art pieces, jewelry pieces that sold for quite a bit of money. So before you buy new, it's a great way of also recycling. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We are now on Patreon, so you could check us out there. All of the links are down below in the show notes, as well as some free discount links are there for you for some of your favorite retailers. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and remember, health is wealth.